Still gotta go back to Buster tomorrow. See what he has to do. Well, not really.
Not really. Milkshakes.
Nice to meet
Just don't get ice cream.
you. Yeah.
The sale is in there. It's under.
No, so you good.
Bring it up.
I'll pay attention to what you need.
It will rain right there, it will rain right there. If it doesn't rain anyplace else.
Yeah, I'll get it right there.
Let's go downstairs again.
I'm going on 119 Friday.
I'll let my cup go downstairs.
A minute, you can do it, I've done it. You're young and you can exercise, you gotta do it.
Family's got some stuff staked out.
Amanda didn't give it away though.
And
They already tried to take it once.
Like a long 12 hours. Oh, in other words, you're leaving out. Why? You want to chair? I'm looking at them. I don't mind if that's.
No, I use joke. I use joke. He just take care of it.
Don't let anybody put anything
If
in.
it's not there, then you can bill them for,
Tell them for a cup of coffee.
well, it was Starbucks, right? When it was $29.99 cups of latte.
You know, made the mistake of being out there before.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Wilson County Commissioners Court. Today's date is Monday, June 10th, 2024. Let the minutes reflect that we have a quorum, all members are present. And before we begin, we're going to have our prayer by Reverend Eric Maletti, our pastor from Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Livonia. Pastor, you have the floor.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for your blessings. We thank you for the opportunity to be here today
Well, like, but if see Allison's gonna pop it, I don't think she's going to. So, how do you want to do this? Start with the intern. Oh, yeah, okay. So, we have an intern with us this summer session, I guess you could say. She started last Monday, and I'll let her introduce herself, but we'll have her until August 13th. Yes. So she's gonna rotate between the 3 disciplines, and we're gonna plug her in and really see if extension's what she wants to do in her future and give her that opportunity. So this is.
My name is Carly Flowers. I go to Texas State. I graduate in December with Ag Business Management degree.
Nice.
I'm excited. And then last week, we had a fun and exciting time at our Texas 4-H Roundup, which is our state contest for 4-H. So we have some of our kiddos here to tell you about their contest and how they placed. Entomology is first.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Brown, and with me today is
Connor Hayaski
And Joshua Scribner.
and we are a part of the Wilson County 4-H entomology team. And today we do not have Monroe McGuffin with us today. He was absent today within our team, and our placing is
We won first place as a team.
All right. All right.
Thank y'all for everything y'all do. We wouldn't be here today if it weren't for y'all, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And who's next? Nicole, you wanna?
Hi, my name is Nicole Lee, and with me today is
Trent Ellebrot.
and us with the addition of Reagan Morgan and Camber Simmons are the Wilson County 4-H poultry judging team, and we placed first as a team. Reagan Morgan placed first individually, Trent Ellerbrock placed second individually, Camber Simmons placed third individually, and I placed sixth individually.
All right.
Oh, go on. You can talk about nationals?
And we will be attending in November Nationals in Kentucky.
Very good.
So we are obviously very proud of our kiddos for going. We also had, besides the poultry and entomology team, we had livestock. Oh, hi, Allison. SCS Quiz Bowl, ed presentation, food challenge, robotics, food show. So we had quite a few kids there. So
Small bowl rifle too.
oh, and rifle contest. No, please take over.
That was it. I was just gonna tell y'all there was like 25 kids we had that competed, so we're very proud of them.
Good. Good. Great work.
Do you have any questions?
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, ask them. They love questions. I'm telling you.
Well,
It was
you
a
got any
fun,
questions?
busy
I
week,
don't.
but
No, they're smarter than we are, so.
yeah. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Agenda item number 6, we have Brenda Trevino, our county auditor. We have a 10 o'clock. We're going to move on that. We'll hold off on that because that'll be a hearing there at 10. So skip over agenda item number 6. Agenda item number 7, discuss and approve proclamation for Julia Castro. Do we have that on us? Yeah, okay. All right, Ms. Castro, I'm going to read off your proclamation. Okay? Whereas Julia Castro is a lifelong citizen of Floresville and Wilson County, and whereas in the mid-1700s, Julia Castro's ancestors established 3 ranches with more than 3,800 acres on lands that make up part of today's Wilson County. And whereas, like her ancestors, Julia Castro has contributed much to the history of Wilson County. And whereas Julia Castro's column, Apple Pie and Salsa, began being published in the Wilson County News on 2008 and ran through 2022. Julia's columns were about general life experiences, including much about Floresville and Wilson County history. And whereas a book of Julia Castro's columns was published by the Wilson County News on May 10th, 2024. Now, therefore, we applaud Julia Castro, a retired Head Start teacher and mother of 10, for her determined spirit and dedication to telling the stories of our beloved community. She has been an awesome example to everyone, and we will sign that today. I'll entertain a motion to accept this proclamation.
I'll make a motion to accept the proclamation for Julia Castro. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner King. Is there any other discussion regarding this agenda item? Hear none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, the proclamation is passed. We will sign it. We're going to keep it, Ms. Casper, I want you to come up. We're going to go over there and take a picture with you, but we're going to keep it so we can have it framed. But we got to have it signed first. Go on the other side. Thank you, sir. How are you today?
Just try to stand here in the middle. We're going to take a picture with the court. That's good. Look at it. Looks very good. We're doing this a little different.
Thank you.
We move to agenda item number 8. We have Chief Master Sergeant Gloria Mick with Women Warrior Vets of Wilson County. Women Warrior Veterans would like to read a proclamation designated June 12, 2024 as Women Veterans Recognition Day to recognize the service and the sacrifices of women veterans of Wilson County who have served, both those still living and those who have died in service to this country. Chief?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is the Women Veterans Day proclamation. Whereas women have formerly been a part of the United States Armed Forces since the establishment of the Army Nurses Corps in 1901, but have informally served since the inception of the United States military. And whereas women have served honorably and with valor, including disguised as male soldiers during the American Revolution and the Civil War, as nurses during World War I and World War II, and as combat helicopter pilots and other services in Afghanistan. And whereas in 1943, Congress introduced and passed legislation to establish the Women's Army Corps, the WAC, which provided full military status to women. And whereas 75 years ago, on June 12, 1948, President Harry S. Truman signed the Women's Army Services Integration Act, allowing women to serve as regular members of the military. And in 2017, the Texas legislature designated June 12 as the Women's Veterans Day. And whereas women have proudly served to secure and preserve liberty with integrity, dedication, and respect. Women veterans experience unique challenges in receiving that health care, support, and recognition they deserve. And whereas women are currently and always will be an important part of the veteran community, Wilson County is proud of and appreciates the service and sacrifices of women in uniform. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Wilson County Judge and Commissioners Court that Wilson County designates June 12th as Women Veterans Recognition Day to recognize the service and sacrifices of women veterans of Wilson County who have served, both those still living and those who have died in service to this country. Thank you.
Commissioners, it should have been an action item, so it won't hurt to take a vote. Entertain a motion to accept this Women's Veterans Day proclamation.
I'll make a motion that we accept the Women's Veterans Day proclamation.
Second. Motion made by Commissioner Paradola, second by Commissioner King. Any other discussion regarding this agenda item? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? Ayes have it, and the proclamation passes. Thank you, ladies. And
Thank you, Your
for
Honor.
service.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you for your service.
Can we get a picture?
Yep.
Let's get it signed, and then we'll get a picture.
Yeah, we've had that discussion.
There we go. Here, y'all can come over here. One, two, three.
Okay, agenda item number 9. We have Commissioner Precinct 2, Russell King on TxDOT, and TxDOT presentation on the 2025-2028 rule tip for Wilson County. This presentation will go over upcoming and systems of TxDOT projects within the next 4 years in Wilson County. This presentation will be informational. You have the floor, sir.
Judge, did y'all want to see the presentation?
Yeah.
Video-wise?
Did we not have it?
It was just pamphlets.
Oh, it was just pamphlets? Okay.
So we have it on a flash drive that we can, I guess, if you have a laptop.
Is Jason around? Huh? Okay.
We have to pick external. Yeah,
Okay.
external one.
Oh, sorry
We
about
sent
that.
it, I believe we did send it, but we haven't
But
had out.
it's all here, right here, right?
Yes.
Okay. Which one do we start with first?
So you should have a handout that's titled Rural Transportation Improvement Plan 2025 through 2028. That'll be the main one I'll be talking about. So good morning. Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you all for allowing us to be here. Good to see y'all. I brought a entourage with me today, and I wanted to introduce to everybody, just so you have some faces to go along with our TechStop folks. Believe everybody knows Mr. Mark Andrews, who is the maintenance supervisor here in Wilson County. 2 rows behind him is Mr. Jason Fowle. He is our assistant maintenance supervisor here in Wilson County. And to his right is Mr. Colin Dugash. He is our transportation engineer who houses here in Wilson County locally as well. And then to his right is Mr. Jeb Smith. Jeb is my assistant area engineer out of the New Braunfels office. And he just helps me run everything in the 3 counties I oversee. And last but not least, sitting in incognito, and I say that because he's the only one not wearing bright orange or yellow, is Mr. Mark Mosley. Mr. Mosley comes from our advanced planning section up at district. I like to call him the money man because he has the bag with all the money. Whenever I need more, I go talk to him.
Well, if he has that much, we'll come talk to him too.
Yes. All righty. So,
Have to let him out of the county.
you want to keep him here? That is good. So I've been asked to talk about the Rural Transportation Improvement Plan. You have that document, and I will be honest with everybody, I usually don't do scripted presentations, so it's going to be a little difficult trying to read and talk at the same time, but we will get through this. And so I'm going to describe what we're going to go through, and we're going to talk about the 2025 Rural Transportation Improvement Program, which is also known as the Rural TIP for the San Antonio District. On the next page of the page 2, it has our agenda, what I'm going to go about briefly. 8 topics. We'll start with safety, go into the San Antonio District boundaries, talk about our planning process, and then the Rural Transportation Program, how the Rural TIP impacts the folks here in Wilson County, and our 2025 to 2028 Rural TIP projects, and of course, funding and the next steps. And lastly, when the presentation is over, we can outline and go over some options that you have to comment on these projects and make whatever priorities or input that you feel. So on page 3, you'll notice there is TechStops in the streak. Hashtag, as the young ones today say, in the streak, Texas. That is one of our safety goals throughout the state. And what that refers to is back on November 7th of 2000, over 23 years ago, was the last deathless day on a TechStop roadway. So if you put that into context, November 7th, 2000, nobody was killed in a car accident. Nobody was killed involving a motor vehicle in Texas. Since then, at least one person has been killed on a TechStop roadway for the past 23 years, at least one. Very, very humbling. You don't think about that 23 years and how fast that's gone by, but just the numbers are staggering as well. And so with TechStop, we are promoting this campaign to get everybody's input to help end that streak. And what can we do as motorists? Of course, it's easy. Drive to conditions. That means, that sign that says speed limit 75, let's keep it right there. Wear our seatbelt. That is very important. Probably 50% of the fatalities that we see on our roadways could have been eliminated if the drivers and our passengers simply buckled up. 50%. And then, of course, eliminate those distractions. And as we drive today, we've got the radio, we've got the phone, we've got everything else. We might have some children in the back that don't know how to act, but we got a whole bunch of distractions while we drive. Let's eliminate those distractions, and we are asking that you just pass this message along to your young drivers, to your senior drivers, to any drivers to help us in the streak. But very sombering, very, very humbling. Next page, page 4. You are looking at a map of the San Antonio District, which includes are 12 counties. Now the map is a little misleading. It shows 14 if you've counted that quick. There are 2 counties, which are Gillespie and Karnes, that are actually in other districts, but they are a part of the region of the rural planning organization. But within San Antonio, you have the 12 counties that are located there. And if you look, the 3 counties that are shaded light blue, that would be Bexar, Comal, and Guadalupe. Those are counties that are in the MPO, the Alamo Area Metropolitan Planning Organization as well. And then the surrounding counties, which include, of course, Kerr, Kendall, Bandera, Medina, Frio, Atascosa, Wilson, and McMullen, are in what we call the AARPO, which is the Alamo Regional Rural Planning Organization, or in short, ARPO. So projects in those counties, which are shaded the dark orange, are all part of this rural transportation improvement plan that I'm going to talk about. So page 5, and if you're asking this question, and believe you me, I was asking myself before the presentation, what is an ARRPO? What is ARPO? So it stands for the Alamo Regional Rural Planning Organization. It's representing our region here in Wilson County for transportation planning. As stated in the previous slide, most of the rural counties in the San Antonio district are part of this Alamo Regional Rural Planning Organization. And once again, it represents those rural communities, it represents the small towns, it represents the areas outside of that metropolitan planning organization. So if you remember in blue was Bexar, Comal, and Guadalupe. Well, within the San Antonio district, those surrounding rural counties are represented in our ARPO, or the Alamo Regional Rural Planning Organization. And this, of course, is composed by elected officials representing their county constituents. And its sole purpose is to help identify transportation needs, plan, and recommend rural transportation projects. Next page. And if you have any questions, please feel free just to interrupt and ask me. So on the next page, we talk about Connecting Texas 2050. Connecting Texas 2050 is the updated statewide long-range transportation plan. It outlines goals and evaluates long-term investment priorities by measuring performance of those goals and creating targets. This helps TxDOT with planning and programming projects that keep on track with the transportation plan that is reflective of future needs. In those goals, if you look at your sheet, of course, there's safety, plan, build, and maintain a safe and secure transportation system for all users. We also have preservation, maintaining that existing infrastructure that we have throughout the state. Another performance goal is mobility, being able to move from A to B as quick as possible. If anybody's driven in San Antonio or in the larger metro areas, you might get stuck in traffic here and there. So we do look to increase performance by increasing mobility. And some of the strategic goals are, of course, connectivity, making sure you can get from A to B and get to all those points in between. The economic vitality of our system, and then, of course, stewardship of the taxpayers' dollars, making sure we're doing what we need to do and spending the tax dollars in the right way. Page 7 kind of looks at that overall transportation planning products and how TxDOT as a whole plans projects. We have long-range planning that goes out to 25 years. That is the Connecting Texas 2050 goals, where we're trying to look 25 years in the future. You kind of zoom in with the microscope. We get to the metro and rural planning long-range plans, which is about 20 years out. We call this the MTP, or the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. But once again, still looking long-range, still 2 decades out. You zoom in a little closer, the orange box is our Unified Transportation Program. That's when we're looking 10 years out. that's when our priorities start to get a little more, I don't want to say urgent, but it gets a little real. It starts that closer focus on what the area needs. In that 10-year plan, it identifies a pipeline of projects, once again, to achieve those department goals. And then from 10 years, we really start to focus on more funded projects, more project needs, and more things that are readily addressed. And that's when we get to what is called the STIP. That's that 4-year kind of dark orange box known as the Statewide Transportation Improvement Program. And then that's where we include the metropolitan planning document, and then we include the rural planning document that we're going to discuss today to start identifying those goals and to start look for funding for those goals. And then, of course, from 4 years down to 2 years is when we're really confident, or when we start to have that letting schedule, and that is basically a list of projects that are funded. We're pretty much close to completing the PS&E design, and those projects are ready to go to construction. So long range, 25 years, down to a 2-year letting schedule, really compromises TxDOT's entire planning mechanism. So page 8, Rural Transportation Improvement Program. What is the rural TIP? The rural TIP is part of the transportation planning process. The Rural Transportation Improvement Program is a list of local projects expected to be funded in a TxDOT district over the next 4 years. So that's that 4-year box I was previously talking about. This means that all projects included in the list are anticipated to be underway within the 4 years following its approval. It's not only roadway, it's of course multimodal, which means it can include projects relating to highways, bicycles, pedestrian facilities, transit services, and freight projects, as well as preliminary studies used to define those projects. The rural TIP's meant to show regional agreement on the need and priority of a transportation project, so all parties involved can be sure they are making the best investment for the community. It is also expected to be consistent with projects and objectives included in the regional long-range transportation plans to ensure that all agencies are working towards the same goal. The TIP is part of the Statewide Transportation Improvement Program. Because the program rules are established by federal law, no project can receive federal funding until it's included in that rural document. So we go from the STIP down to the rural TIP, and that's when we start looking at funding. All righty, hopefully we've got a good understanding of the TIP. That was a lot of information on a TIP and a STIP. It confuses me, but I did my best. Let's talk about the Wilson County average daily traffic. So one thing we look at when we are planning our roadway projects is, of course, we look at roadway volumes, we look at the activity on the roadway, we look at crash history, we try to look at local needs. This document shows our average daily traffic throughout Wilson County. It's color-coded from red to green. So your red highlighted roads are your roads with more ADT or more traffic volume. In this map, that would be, of course, US 181 as it goes from Bexar County down to Karnes. You see some red on US 87 as you leave Bexar County going through Livernia and head south towards Sutherland Springs. And everything else is either yellow or green. Yellow being 123 coming out of Guadalupe County, and then we have some darker greens for like State Highway 119, the remainder of US 87, and then the local FM roads are all green because those are your more low volume roadways. Next page, we have information on our Wilson County fatal and severe crashes. So TxDOT tracks all fatal and severe crashes through our CRIS system, and we're able to pull that data to help us show where some hotspots are. This map reflects reflects roads with fatal and severe crashes In reds are areas with high densities of fatal and severe crashes, while greens show low densities, but there are still some accidents. And if you look at Wilson County, as everybody probably expects, you know, the hot spot or the high density spot is, of course, here in Floresville, as 181 comes into town and crosses 97. But we do have some other areas throughout Wilson County. The Stockdale area, you have some green, you know, a lot of green around Lavernia. So this is just a good representation of where we're seeing fatalities or severe crashes through Wilson County. All righty, next page, sheet 11. How the rural tip impacts you. It's important for you to participate because funding secured by this process is intended to address your community's most immediate needs. By providing comments on the priority of the projects included, you are, of course, helping us identify regional priorities. By reviewing the entire program in a single meeting, you are having a regional impact, you're helping us be more effective and be good stewards of our money, or your money, and we're ensuring that we are investing where we should. So in other words, we're getting the money where it's needed. And so if you go on the next page, page 12, we have some projects that were recently completed, and a lot of these projects were selected based on input from our last rural tip meeting. If you look at that first project, the hike and bike trail, which we just finished here in Wilson County on the El Camino Real Trail, was to construct a concrete shared use path. That was one that was identified by, I believe, the city of Floresville and some other constituents on the needs for a better walking trail. The next project, FM 2579 in Wilson County, is a safety project where we're going to install advanced warning signals. We're going to install chevrons, some profile edge markings, all to improve safety on that roadway. And those were direct comments from the last rural tip. Our 123 project, which is currently underway in Stockdale from the Guadalupe-Wilson County line to Business 87 to rehabilitate that roadway, was another project. We will start the fourth project on this list, which says it's at DL Vest. That is actually a project that we are doing with the city of Lavernia to install some sidewalks near their cluster of schools on 1346 and 775. And last but not least is our FM 1344 job in Wilson County. This is one that we recently completed about 6 months ago, where we rehabbed the road, widened to add shoulders. So all these projects here are excellent examples of how we were able to shift resources to address local needs that were identified by citizens, by elected officials, and we're just really stemmed from that comment and from that input. On the next page of the presentation, so this map, and I apologize, but it's really hard for me to read, but this map shows all our projects so far that is included in the 2025-2028 rural tip for Wilson County. A copy of the map with the projects you should have. In fact, that is that long page right there. So our rural transportation improvement program for the next 4 years is on the 11 by 17 sheet. You can turn to the map, which now is much easier for me to read than what I have in my script. But it shows a lot of projects. He has a lot of projects for the next couple of years. A lot of these are seal coat projects, which are really preventive maintenance. But to highlight one that we're looking at, it is number 13 up near Lavernia. It's kind of got a yellowish color. That is our US 87 expansion project from the Bexar County line to 1346. This is the project where we go from the 4 lanes undivided to a 4-lane divided section. We're installing pretty much a raised median in between traffic, This project gained a lot of momentum after a recent fatality that we had with a young lady leaving her driveway. And so the input that we received from the community really created a focus on this roadway. And so this project here, I believe, will be letting in fiscal year 27. We also got projects on 1344 to complete the rehab going out towards Karnes County, and just a slew of Silco projects and other needs in the area. But you can take a look at this list, you can look at the map, and just see the amount of work that we have coming up in Wilson County. A lot of it being seal coat, but we do have some safety projects. We're replacing some local bridges like at County Road 241 and Borrego Creek. Fiscal year 2026, we're doing a lot of safety projects on FM 775 where we install warning and guide signs. 536, installing those same warning and guide signs. We're replacing another bridge on 1107 at Eclecto Creek in 2026. If you look at 2027, that's where you find the US 87 project being scheduled to go to bid at $62 million. We also have a State Loop 321 project, which is Chihuahua Street in Lavernia. And then 541, that same year, seal coat and pavement markings. And it's going to 2028, a lot of seal coat and pavement markings. So to be honest, I really went through the next 2 pages of slides talking about the TIP Wilson County projects. On page 15, highlighted is that US 87 project that I spoke of, where we're going to widen and add a flush median. Well, it'll be a raised median with grass. We're going to eliminate a lot of the crossovers, so that'll be a big shock to a lot of folks. We're going to eliminate a lot of the crossovers, and we're going to install what we call, they're R-cuts, is that the correct term? R-cuts, to where basically everybody will be making U-turns, somewhat protected U-turn, instead of cutting across at a lot of crossovers.
Sir, how can the county try to get some of that millings and used material off of that project?
So,
do I need to get with the contractor?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what happens with a lot of our projects, the contractors, whatever they remove becomes their property. So if they're milling up, I don't know how many tons of asphalt, it's there to use. To a lot of contractors, that is like gold, because they take it and they take it back to the plants and they can use it as what we call RAP, or recycled asphalt paving. Most of that material goes back with them. There have been some contractors that are willing to give it back to counties as long as they come and pick it up. That is something that when this project goes to construction, I can't tell the contractor to do that, but I can give you the contractor's contact information and you can have that conversation with them.
Awesome. Thank
All righty. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I remember a couple of years ago when we went through this, one of the issues that we had was we disagreed with the traffic counts on large trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we ever really got an update on that. I mean, I think our truck volume was 2 or 3 or 4 times what it was, what the data showed that we had.
Okay.
So did that ever happen, do you know?
So we collect traffic data, I believe, every 2 years on our system. Am I right, Mr. Mosley? I believe it's every 2 years. Now, if it varies, we can take counsel with our local traffic section if there is some discrepancies. But as far as anything changing from when that last count was taking place, I do not have that answer. The counts are very thorough, but there can be some discrepancies. Right. And so once
well, that was the deal, and it might, as I remember, I don't know, Commissioner Perdomo, if you remember or not, but I believe that y'all agreed that they needed to have another look at them, and they were going to go back and look at them, but we never really heard anything back. So if y'all would check into that and let us know.
Yes, sir.
No, it's basically throughout the county, but 97 181. I think those were the primary two.
Okay.
Recently updated on the statewide planning map.
Has it? Okay.
Right. So the counts are done out of division in Austin. And not trying to
Right.
put it
Yeah,
all
no,
on
I know.
them. They do the statewide counts. It's our transportation planning and programming section. We can contact them to see if any adjustments are made. But once again, we can take our local counts as well if there are any discrepancies. But we can look into it and get an answer to you. Any other questions? All right, I'm going to wrap this one up as good as I can. I am on sheet 17 where we talk about funding. Everybody's favorite. Where does the money come from? All righty. The rural tip functions as a budget list for our district. As such, it's financially constrained. Like the budget of a household, the rural tip has to be realistic about the amount of money available to cover all the needs. Frequently, we identify more improvements than we have money to implement. This means prioritizing according to those items that are most necessary. We've discussed the lists, but where's the money coming from? My answer is Mr. Mosley, but that's not the true answer. Funds can come from three main sources. The federal government, throughout the establishment of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. The federal government allocates these funds through the processes established by the Federal Highway and Transit Administrations. And two, TxDOT, like the federal government, also allocates a section of our budget for these projects through the Unified Transportation Program's 12 funding categories. So TxDOT, we have 12 funding categories that we pull from depending on the project. That helps us divide that dollar where it's needed. Some of those categories are like our bridge section, our traffic safety section. We have the NPO funding. We have the rural funding categories. We have preventive maintenance categories, strategic, district discretionary. We have a slew of categories to where we try to fund our projects. But each category has certain stipulations. So it's not like I can say, Mark, can I get some of Category 8 money to help with Category 1? Really doesn't work like that. But those stipulations help us make sure we are dividing this funding adequately. And of course, last, the local governments. Once the need has been identified and the amount of federal monies has been defined, the rural tip helps local governments assess their funding requirements to match those of the federal and state government and their capacity to meet them. And so, page 18, where are we at in the process? So right now, if you look at that big square that says you are here, we are at the point where we need community involvement, community input, and community efforts for the rural tip. Then after that, TxDOT reviews each proposal and integrates them into our statewide transportation improvement plan. The rural tip gets approved, and then after that, with funding secured, project development and our construction schedules can move ahead. So basically, we're right in the middle of the slide, and we're at the point where we want to have your input. So the next page, how to provide comments. I believe everybody should have a form with the San Antonio district, and you should have a comment card as well. There's a comment card where you can fill out and give input on any concern that you have in the county. You know, the traffic on 2579 is getting larger, more volumes. The traffic on 3432, we need a light at whatever intersection that you think we need one. This is the time to make those comments. Fill out the comment card and leave it with staff. I recommend you just mail it to the Texas Department of Transportation, San Antonio District, Attention Rural Tip. The address is 4615 Northwest Loop 410, San Antonio, Texas, 78229. Or you can email it directly to Yvonne De La Rosa at texdot.gov. and I would put a subject rural tip. You can email that to her. And to be honest, all of y'all have my contact information. If you want to just send it directly to me and put rural tip, I will make sure it gets to Yvonne as well. But let us know your comments. Let us know what you think. You have the project list. If something needs to be added, something needs to be removed. If something needs to be adjusted, please let us know. But fill it out. There is a very tight time frame. So submit your comments by June 14th. Today is the 10th, so that's by the end of the week. My apologies for that. I did not put the timing together.
To be clear, though, we did go live with the virtual public meeting, and there's a handout there. We got some handouts here that we're sorry we thought we coordinated a visual or whatever, but we do have some extra handouts, some extra comment cards. There is some extra flyers for that virtual public meeting. You can make comments online as well at that virtual public meeting.
So the virtual public meeting is active already? And
we've sent out social media blasts on that previously.
And that's on the San Antonio District information, am I correct? On the flyer that says San Antonio District? Yes, but the 14th is the deadline to be included in this year's considerations. So please try to get your input as quick as possible. Stay in communication with myself, my office, and we'll make sure all the input is heard and adjust accordingly. That wraps up the presentation. I know it was a lot of information really fast, but any questions?
I'm going to pick on Mr. Mosley. If you'll come up to the microphone, the people online can't hear you from the audience. But you're not off the hook either, Mr. Luckett. Off-system bridges.
Yes, sir.
So I have one that I've been working with the bridge department recently, like in the last several weeks, and just received a report that the bridge was load zone tested first quarter of this year, and it's fine. They're not going to take and downgrade or recommend any weight ratings on it, but we have some repairs that need to be made. And what funding can we ask for help with dealing with this bridge from the state?
It really and truly depends on the condition of that bridge. As you know, we go out every 2 years and we review and we analyze or we inspect all these bridges, and we provide that recommended maintenance to the local entities. Unless it falls to a certain level where it's starting to degrade the bridge, oftentimes that maintenance is the responsibility of the local government. That's why we provide you recommendations on how to do that. It depends on, again, where the condition of that bridge is. And with that, we really need to reach out to our bridge engineer, Leon Flournoy. I don't know if you've worked with him before, and we'd have to look at where that bridge is right now.
Okay.
I can't say that there's any guaranteed funding available for it. And again, that's one of those categories of funding that Will was talking about. We call it Category 6 bridge. And it's managed and evaluated statewide. So it's a statewide project, unlike some categories of funding that the district actually has a certain amount of control on what they can spend it on. This is one where it's analyzed and weighed statewide on condition score, maintenance issues, and all of that. So it would have to compete at a statewide level to be identified in a condition that needed that warranted funding.
So if we wanted to put this into consideration for competition, how does that change the outlook of the state on, hey, we want to go ahead and start getting something done? You know, my feeling right now is that there's a desire to go ahead and try to find a contractor to undergo the work on it, and we don't know what the exact cost would be for it, because it's going to be extensive work just to get down to the river bottom where the bridge is.
Is this a scour issue or?
It is.
Okay.
Well, that's part of it.
It's the support was undermined because during previous flooding events, what was under the earth became unearthed. And so due to the ability for the oxygen and the water level to play on it, we've got some metal support issues. As I stated, we also have in hand documentation that says right now there's no need to try to downgrade or place a weight limit restriction on the bridge.
So has the damage that you were talking occurred since that inspection?
No, actually, the report has a list of it, and there's a report that shows the exact same damage prior. And so there's not any increased degradation over the time period of the two reports.
Okay. We have the off-system bridge program, where TxDOT will replace off-system bridges or county bridges. We've replaced, I want to say 5 in the last couple of years. Recently, County Road 104, County Road 247. We just replaced 235 at Dry Creek. Send me an email, and we can reach out to Leon, our bridge engineer, and we can go look at the bridge. I know the inspection might show that it's still the same, but let us put some eyes on it. I can't guarantee that it'll be selected, but I do recommend just keep on submitting it, to be honest.
Leon's staff came out and we looked at it.
Mr. Cassiata.
Jaime Castaneda came out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And they still said just the same.
Right, and, you know, I mean, this is recent, as I said, we've been working together on this for the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
That's why it's definitely something that is on my mind whenever you
Yes,
show
sir.
up. After this has started in the past couple of weeks, and,
Okay.
what we've gotten so far is that funding, you know, is hard to get. And of course, if I have time to get funding, I would rather get funding from TxDOT than try to figure out how to pay for it out of the county's coffers.
Yes, sir.
I'm just simple
Yes, sir.
that way.
Yeah, and I think we just went through some coordination on a recent call for projects on Category 6, and unfortunately, the projects where they're replacing most of those are like 27 to 28 right now. Fiscal years 27 and 20. I guess it's good news that they haven't load posted the bridge, which implies that it's still structurally sufficient, at least at this point. But again, reach out with Will, and Will can continue to coordinate with Leon, and we'll see if there's.
I'll email you a copy of the reports that I've received.
Yes, sir.
And,
Yes, sir.
go from there.
Okay.
I'm glad. I was looking for that 1-800 number that I could go straight here. We'll send you.
Well, Will is
Yes,
always your
sir.
first contact.
Yes, sir.
He knows this area better than we do.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I think before we move to the next agenda item, I'm going to turn the gavel over to Commissioner King, who is our Judge Pro Tem for this first half here. You almost made it. Commissioner Aiken would have taken it. Almost. Okay, and then I guess you got that 10 o'clock you'll be calling on agenda item 3?
Correct.
No, 6, okay. All right, let the minutes reflect that I've got to leave to catch a flight.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, go. Where we at?
Safe travels, Judge.
Good luck, Judge.
Good luck, Judge.
Be
Have
safe.
fun. All right, agenda item number, we got 4 minutes, we got time. Agenda item number 10. Judge, yes.
Yeah, like, yes.
Can I just leave these back here?
Absolutely.
If somebody wants it out?
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
So,
Appreciate
Mr. Andrews
you.
just left a few packets down there if y'all want to grab them. Anybody would like to have one for the text up. We go into the 10 o'clock, or we just go into recess.
We can recess for a couple of minutes if you want to.
We just go into recess or
I mean, we can just go into a recess till 10.
Currently, we're going to go into a recess until 10 o'clock for agenda item number 6. here. We'll come back.
Just go back, it's 10 o'clock, and so we're going to go to agenda item number 6 to open the bids.
Item number 6, and just to note that Judge Whitman is out. We have just the panel of 4 commissioners. At this time, I'll bring it up. Agenda item number 6, Judge Whitman with Brenda L. Trevino, County Auditor, 10 a.m. Open 24-1003 Wilson County Hazard Mitigation Plan Update RFPs.
Okay, so we're simply just opening the RFPs to see who has submitted. We will have the scoring committee get together in July to review the bids. And then at that point, in July 8th, the recommendation will be presented to the Commissioners Court. So right now, we're just going to be opening the bids. This one is from Academy Preparedness Solutions.
Spell the first one, please.
I'm sorry?
Couldn't spell.
Academy
Academy.
Preparedness Solutions. Thank you. Langford Community Management Services. GrantWorks, Inc. The Broadest Companies. H2O Partners. And Whit O'Brien's.
Who?
Whit O'Brien's.
No 6. All right, so RFPs are opened up and we will have that review in July and vote July 8th. Correct.
Yeah, the recommendation will be presented to the Commissioners Court on July 8th.
Any questions? Moving on. We go to agenda item number 10. Judge Whitman with the ACOG to give a brief presentation on ACOG programs and services to the Wilson County Commissioners Court.
Good morning, commissioners, staff, and guests. My name is Crystal Campos Rosales. I'm the External Affairs Coordinator with the Public Affairs Division at Alamo Area Council of Governments, or otherwise known as ACOG for short. Thanks so much for having us this morning. Judge requested an overview of ACOG services. Unfortunately, a lot of residents are under the impression that, or they only know us by our aging services, but we do so much more. But before I get into the overview, I want to also introduce my colleague, Claudia Mora, is here with me today. She's our Regional Services Administrator. Wilson County is one of our member governments, and as a member government, you're privy to some additional perks, and Claudia is our economic development expert. So she's here with me today, but without further ado, just wanted to go into an overview of ACOG. So our mission is to enhance the quality of life of all residents of the Alamo region in partnership with elected and appointed officials, our funders, community partners, as well as beneficiaries. Next slide, please. So to tell you a little bit more about how we began, so we're also known as a regional planning commission. We were organized in 1968, so we've been in existence for over 50 years. We celebrated our 50th anniversary in 2018, and what's neat is that you will find some form of a regional planning commission in all 50 states. Some of them are known as a council of governments, such as us, or a regional planning commission, or an area council is another name. We are a political subdivision of the state, which means that we can plan, we can assist our local governments, and deliver public services, but we do not possess the statutory authority to tax or to regulate. Our governing body is comprised primarily of local and government officials, judges, member of our board of directors. Our service region, or the Alamo Area Planning Region 18, covers 13 counties. So this includes, you can see on the map, Bexar County and then our surrounding rural counties, so a total of 13. And as of our latest census, that coverage area is a little over 12,500 square miles, and we service approximately 2.7 million people. Our board of directors is comprised of everyone who you will see on the slide before you. It's a total of 35 members, to also include our executive director, who is a non-voting member. So we have 3 mayors from our suburban cities within Bexar County. We also have 3 mayors from Bexar County, and 3 members from City of San Antonio. We also have representation from our 13 counties with our 13 county judges. And then we also have 2 members from Bexar County Commissioners Court. In addition, we have several representatives from school boards. We also have conservation districts, utilities such as CPS Energy, and hospital districts such as University Health. So how is ACOG funded? We are funded primarily from state and federal government, as well as some nonprofit foundations. We do charge membership annual dues, and that is based on population numbers that we receive. These dues operate as seed funds that can serve as match dollars for federal and state grants. We're also, some of our programs also generate revenue, such as our Veterans Directed program. And we also receive federal grant funds from the federal government, which operate as pass-through funds, where we are able to administer the application process, the award process, as well as assist local governments with reporting. So the best way to describe ACOG is two arms. So we have our resident serving arm and we have our government serving arm. So I'm going to review our resident programs right now. And we've also brought along with us what we like to refer to as our core services cards. So basically, in a nutshell, it will highlight each program on the resident serving side as well as member governments. And it also has contact information for each program along with our website. So the program that we are best known for on the resident serving side is our aging services. So they really assist with just enhancing the quality of life of older adults 60 years and above. We really work closely with community partners just to provide caregiver training, care coordination services. They also have a main call center hub that's available to residents who are in need of, you have a caregiver. More often than not, it's the daughter or the son who's caring for their elderly parents, and they're just in need of respite. Give us a call. We can find, get you that help. Our aging services is also able to work very closely with our weatherization program to help with just, it's so hot during the summer months, and unfortunately, a lot of these low-income households don't have the proper insulation and things in their homes to, overcome just the extreme heat that we're experiencing in the summer. Their air conditioners are working overtime to cool the home, and then of course in the winter months the heater is working overtime as well to just keep the home warm. We also have our intellectual and developmental disability services. So this program really helps plan and administer sub-programs within it to improve the quality of life for those who have intellectual or developmental disabilities such as autism, Down syndrome. Although they primarily operate in Bexar County, we are starting to expand into some other counties, such as Wilson. We do have a transition support team who comes out and really assist those young adults who are just faced with transitioning from school age to adulthood. And so we're able to provide some coaching as far as life skills and also employment, help them prepare their resume and get ready for that first interview for their first job outside of high school. We also have our veteran serving side. We have a huge veteran population in the Alamo area, and we're very proud to be able to say that we work with over 270 community partners to connect those veterans with needs. So we have a lot of veterans, young veterans, who are transitioning out of full-time duty over to civilian life. And they're calling and they're saying, I really need help preparing for my first civilian job. Who can you connect me with to receive those job coaching skills, to take a look at my resume? We also have a lot of spouses of veterans who give us a call, and they're in need of the same. My husband and I just located from California. This woman says, and I really need to find a job. We have a couple kids, and so we're able to help not just the veteran, but also their dependents, which we take great pride in. Our Alamo Veterans Network is the entity who works very closely with those 270 partners across the region. Our weatherization assistance program is able to help those low-income residents in the Alamo area overcome that high cost that I just mentioned previously of energy through the installation of energy conservation measures. So this includes, installing those LED light bulbs. Also, we could help with weather stripping and caulking, just to remove that excess air that's coming in and out of those homes, making the air units and things, work overtime. We're also able to help with insulating attic and their walls and floors. Our Alamo Regional Transit, the best way to describe them is they're basically like the VIA, but they're the VIA in the rural communities. They're able to provide transportation out in our rural areas such as Wilson County. A lot of older adults especially will utilize this service. They're in need of going to the pharmacy to go pick up prescriptions. They also need transportation to go out to Walmart or HEB to get groceries, especially for those older adults who don't have family who live in the area. Right now, I'm proud to say that Judge Whitman and our Senior Director of Transportation, Sean Scott, have been in collaboration right now in looking into a fixed route out in Wilson County where we will have designated pickup and drop-off locations, and the route will operate on a 20 to 30-minute interval schedule. Right now in Wilson, we just operate on on-demand service. So we're really excited for this endeavor. If you've read the local newspaper, our team has been out in the county hosting a couple focus groups to just speak with residents and community members and learning what are the best locations in Livonia, what are the best locations in Floresville to have these pickup and drop-off spots. We just closed our third focus group out in Livonia last week, and I believe Judge has requested an additional focus group here in Floresville, so that'll be coming in the next couple weeks. And then our team is also looking to go out into Poth. So we're trying to cover all of the areas within Wilson County. So on our government serving arm, we have our regional services, which Claudia Morta is our administrator over that program. And she does a phenomenal job being able to provide technical assistance and advocacy and all things economic and community development related. This program really supports our member governments and helping them search for grants. You know, if you're in need of road repair in the area, we have a couple entities who are interested in revitalizing their Main Street downtown, and Claudia is an expert in all of that and is able to help your entity look for those grants and help you through that application support process and even understanding your contract and reporting needs. Our Natural Resources Division works as the local air quality enforcer. So we have different cameras, especially throughout Bexar County, that help us just monitor that air quality. If you tune into the local news, we work very closely with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, to issue those air quality alerts. If it's a high ozone day, we definitely want to make sure that we're getting the news out to our older adults who are, just extremely vulnerable due to their age and shouldn't be out in the heat during peak ozone times. Our environmental conservation program is very important. We work very closely with a lot of our member governments just to help reduce solid waste disposal, to help with promoting recycling efforts. This particular program has a resource recovery committee, and as of late, she did host some illegal dumping workshops out in Atascosa County and in Bexar County, which were very fruitful. Unfortunately, we do these home projects, right? Such as, painting the outside exterior of our homes or garage doors. And then what do we do with the excess paint? We don't know how to properly dispose of it. So we have these cans of paint in our garages that sit for years on end, as well as, oil and things for our vehicles. And so she was able to partner with a funding agency to actually go out to Atascosa County. And I can't recall, Claudia, but we collected a large amount of those hazardous waste chemicals. I made sure they were disposed of properly. And then last but not least, for our government program side, we have public safety. There are sub areas within this public safety umbrella. We're very proud that we house our law enforcement academy. We see 3 classes of cadets go through the academy every year. The academy not only just instructs those classes of cadets, but also for any law enforcement professional in need of ongoing education for TCOLT, we offer those advanced and master certification courses so that they can keep apprised of all the education necessary. Under our criminal justice sub area within public safety, they work very closely along with our Homeland Security Division, to help just educate those on different initiatives, such as providing training for those and support for those victims of domestic violence. Also helping juvenile delinquency prevention through support with those. And, unfortunately, just with the mass casualties that have happened, not just locally here in Uvalde and then in Sutherland Springs, but throughout the country, our public safety divisions are just having to really make sure we're educating individuals on those active shooter situations. And so our team goes out, works very closely with the community and our member governments to host active shooter trainings and things of that nature. Our Regional 911, we are the funder of the equipment for your Regional 911 center here in Wilson County, and we also help administer the calls and things that come through to make sure that your 911 calls are being routed through the proper PSAP. And really quickly, I'm not going to highlight each one, but the COG hosts a variety of standing and advisory committees. We have our ACOG Executive Committee comprised of 13 board members. We also have what's known as our Alamo Senior Advisory Committee, or ASAC, which has representation from all of the rural counties. Local partners within the rural counties sit on that committee. And then we also have a Bear Senior Advisory Committee that focuses primarily on Bear County. Claudia is the head of our SEDS committee, or known as the Community on Economic Development. And then we also, of course, have our Criminal Justice Advisory Committee that works very closely with our local sheriffs and entities just to provide a resource in the event that an emergency situation happens. We all want to make sure we're in communication. So that's just a little bit of a snippet, if you will, of the COG. But again, thank you so much for your time. Again, please, we have these core service cards. Please take one. And we also welcome you to email us with any questions. You can also visit our website. I would recommend following us on social media. We try to, issue those air quality alerts on a timely basis, as well as just make sure that the community is aware of outreach efforts, right? So our outreach team has been out and about, especially in the rural communities, hosting road shows. And so it's really an opportunity for our residents to come out and learn a little bit more about each of our services and how we can help them. So thank you again, commissioners, staff, and guests for your time. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you, Mrs. Rosales.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to agenda item 11. Judge Whitman and Michelle King from CAST CAC discuss to take action on CAST CAC. Respectfully request to use the following for our annual free trunk or treat event. I don't have a date on here, and I don't see her. So I never got a date, but they're asking to use the district court parking lot on 1105 Railroad Street, Floresville, Texas 78114. and use 2 of the 3 pole lights that we have to provide better lighting, better, safer, well-lit environment for our guests. Those are the only 2 agenda items we can vote on. We cannot vote on closing a road. That is a city road, and that needs to go through the city. So, but with that, like I said, I don't have a date, but it is usually in September, right?
October.
Or, yeah, right before,
October, isn't it?
yeah, for Halloween, sorry about that, September, October. So I will entertain a motion on 11A and B.
I'll make a motion that we let them use the district court parking lot at 1105 Railroad Street for the trunk or treat event, and that we loan them 2 or 3 of our generators with the lights on them, whatever they need for the event.
Second.
Commissioner Perdola, and this is motion made by Commissioner Perdola and seconded by Commissioner Martin. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. All right, moving on to agenda item number 12. Judge Whitman discuss and take action on the purchase of 10 acres next to the Expo Center on Highway 97. We're taking this from the table. We tabled this on 5/28/2024. So bringing it back to court. Last time we tabled it because we did not have the contract of everything that has been sent out to the commissioners, as well as it's in your packet.
Quick note on this. The property is allocated for the Wellness Center, and we'll be utilizing ARPA funds to pay for this property.
ARPA funds pay for the property.
Is that gonna cover the survey and the other work that was done too?
That is to cover the $270,000 in the contract. So whatever is in the contract.
So where is the survey that's already been done getting paid for?
So the survey, we don't know who paid for the survey right off the top of our head?
I don't think it's been in the bills, but.
No, I haven't seen it.
But I guess there was actually 2 surveys done?
I believe the survey was being done. Tom was contacting them to get the survey. This is the actual contract for the transaction, the buying and the selling for properties.
So how are we gonna determine fair market value on this property?
I don't know, I mean, I believe this was the amounts that were negotiated.
Well, I understand that, that's what they're asking for, but how do we determine that that's the correct amount or is it appropriate amount?
Well, there are 2 ways. One is you can look at the tax value, or you can actually get an appraisal done to determine the fair market value.
Remember right.
I have both contracts if you have a question on the contract.
what are you recommending that we do there, Mr. Ron?
Well, I believe the buying of, I believe the Del Taco property,
We're talking about.
This is just for the first one, yes. For the, by the Expo Center.
the Boeing property.
Yes, item A,
Oh, the first one, I'm sorry.
this first one, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I mean, this was negotiated price, they're, $270,000. So that seems to be a fair price.
Well, then how is that perfect price determined? That's my question.
Well, that's, I believe when we went into executive session, we discussed a negotiated price.
Yes, we did. We also
So-
discussed some other items that aren't included in this contract,
Such as,
that they were gonna donate some money back.
I believe that's included in the purchase price.
So right now, all we have is a contract for $270,000 to purchase this land.
Yes. And I believe that was the corrected price, the information provided by the judge.
And with that, did we went off the tax revenue or we went off the, what did we go off of to get the fair price of what
I don't
Commissioner?
know, I mean, that's the amount that the judge had discussed, in determining that that was a fair market, that was a reasonable amount. There would be a discount provided. Let me see if I can find what those terms are. I'm sorry. That's okay. Let's see here. The actual sale price was $270,000. There was an original discount that was going to be provided, and it was going to be $225,000 with the discount that the owner was providing to the county. But the actual sale price is $270,000. So is that written anywhere? I don't have anything that says it.
Well, I mean, I don't see anything in this contract. I mean, I think that needs to be in there, because that was the deal.
So Commissioner Martin, are you wanting to get an appraisal done on this property to see?
Well, I mean, I just want a reasonable explanation of how we determine fair market value, whatever that is. I mean, I don't think there's anybody here that can provide that to us today. And also,
Well, Judge Whitman, and he's not here because he, the sale price was we were going to purchase for $270,000. That's what the contract provides. But then the seller was going to discount, I believe $45,000.
I was under the impression we were talking about $225,000, or am I mistaken?
well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's been a little while since we met on this, but,
We met
we
on
had
it,
that discussion in executive session. It's been a couple months ago.
and then we got this contract that was wrong, and it got corrected
Right, because it had the
from that
original
225 to
225.
270, if I
And
understand it.
then the judge asked that the actual price was at $270.
So where does the discount come in?
I don't see that it's in the contract.
I don't see it in the contract. Are they holding out until we actually break ground,
I don't know.
or,
I don't know, I haven't actually talked to the seller.
okay?
I think the judge probably had initially discussed a negotiation of this. So if you want more answers, that's fine, but let me know what answers you want so I can have them before, or what questions you have, because I think the original was a request for the contract and what the contract provided. If you have questions about the appraisal and the value, let me know.
Well, I think we
I
do.
can
I mean, that's
discuss with
the
the judge.
question is how is fair market value be determined? What is the county attorney's office recommendation on how to do that? I know we don't have to have an appraisal. Typically when I've been on other elected positions, when we've done that, we have had an appraisal. And then we need to address the discount issue, where that's going to be inserted in here and how that's going to work.
Okay.
There's also a typo on the contract where they missed a zero in the 270 up here. They got it the second time, but not the first.
Okay.
And I mean, to me, and I don't know who decided on what the earnest money was going to be, but normally on a purchase, it's like 10%.
I believe the earnest money was just $1,000.
Yeah,
It's usually a nominal amount, or it's an amount that would compensate the buyer for backing out. If the seller backs out, or the seller would keep for the buyer to back out, so.
Yeah, take a look at that. So that probably should be a little bit more.
The earnest money amount?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, don't you think it should be like around 10,000?
Well, I think the earnest money can be whatever.
It's whatever.
buyer and seller
It's negotiated.
Right.
amount.
negotiate.
Well, I mean, but that's the same amount as the other one, which is a completely different transaction of very significantly less property. My experience has been that that's always been based on what the purchase price is.
All right, cool. Do you want to make a motion to table that, Commissioner Martin?
Sure. I'll make a motion to table purchase on the 10 acres next to the Expo Center pending information from the county attorney's office on
Fair market.
fair market value and review of the earnest money amount, and the third
You
item was
want
to
also the determination of value and how that value is
Right.
determined, right?
And about the discount.
Right, and then the discount, those three items.
Do I have a second?
Okay.
Second.
All right. All in favor, or any more discussion? All in favor to table 12A, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Table 12A. Going into 12B, discuss and take action on sell property behind Ray Del Taco on Highway 97, previously tabled as well from 5/28 to 2024. Right now, we have this selling for $15,000.
And again, I have the same question.
This
Is
one, I believe we're selling.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
And so,
I don't know very much about
is
this
this an,
property.
so how did this, I mean,
I don't know.
the gentleman that's purchasing it, he should be the one doing this and preparing all of this and submitting it to us. And I know we're trying to help him, because he's not too astute at these kind of things. So, has he seen this?
I don't know.
Because, he's got to, let me make sure that, so he's we have to do the title policy. And, so it looks like we're responsible for doing the survey. Yeah, because I mean, to me, before I would approve this contract, I'd want this guy to look at it and make sure that that's what he knows what he's getting into, and it needs to be, it's an offer by him to us, so I think it all needs to be completed and signed by him before we even consider it.
Well, I mean, you can consider our portion of what we're selling for and what we're bargaining for. And then it's up to him to say whether he agrees or he doesn't agree, and he can execute the contract. I haven't heard that he is displeased with these terms, but I don't know whether or not he's been presented with these terms, because I haven't had any communication with him. I don't know if it's been the judge or Tom. I just reviewed the contract on the amounts that were.
I know he's been here, I think, at least twice. The court asked him to do this, and we certainly want to help him if we can, because the property really is no value to us.
I think he offered 10,000, I believe, so I'm not sure where the $15,000 came into play.
And I've heard that there was an appraisal involved in this, so that's why I'm curious as to, again, how the fair market value was determined.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to table action on selling the property behind Red Del Taco to get determination of fair market value and to make sure that the potential purchaser has seen and reviewed this contract and actually signs it before we review it again.
Second. Motion made by Commissioner Martin and seconded by Commissioner Redola to table 12B. Any discussion? All right. We can do a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. All right, moving on to agenda item 13. Judge Whitman, with Brenda Trevino, County Auditor, discuss and take action on going out for bids for an architectural firm for the shelter of last resort at the Expo Center expansion. It's all you.
Yeah, so we held a community participation workshop on May 30th to discuss this project. So now the next step moving forward is us requesting to go out for bids for the architectural firm.
Are we going out for bids or request for proposals?
I believe it's going to be an RFQ.
Okay. And the auditor's office is going to put the RFQ together?
Yes, we're working on getting a bid packet put together. I don't have a timeline as of right now, but once y'all approve, then I'll get a timeline going.
So how are we gonna, we won't have any costs until we actually select somebody and negotiate a fee. But how is this gonna be paid for?
So there is 1.287 million from the GLO, and then I believe the balance would be coming out of ARPA.
And this is an eligible ARPA expense, correct?
Per Brenda, that's, yes, per Brenda. We have partial coming from GLO and then the rest coming out of ARPA.
Did she give you the amount that we anticipate to come out of ARPA?
That wasn't discussed at the meeting either.
So the GLO is a grant type deal, right?
I believe it's through ACOG to the,
I guess as long as, I guess my question would be, is it okay if we use that money if for some reason we run out of ARPA funds or don't have enough or whatever? Is it okay with the GLO that we have the design done using those funds?
Well, I think right now it's just asking to be able to go out for bids
Right.
for an architectural firm
Right. Yeah, and we, like I said, we could do that because we won't have any costs that we put
to
in the
get,
work.
yeah, just to get the ball rolling and get somebody hired to.
So I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 13.
I'll make a motion that we let County Auditor Brenda Trevino go out for bids for an architectural firm for the shelter of last resort at the Expo Center expansion.
Have a second?
Second.
Can we change that from bids to RFQs?
RFQ.
I'm sorry?
Can we change that, the word bid to RFQ, because we don't bid professional services, it's request for qualifications.
Would it be synonymous? Instead of going out for bids, going out for RFP, request for proposals?
It's the same thing.
It's the same action.
Mhm.
It's just.
Bids or proposal for, bids or proposal. The proposal is what we offer, the bid is what they give us back.
All right, so I have a motion made by Commissioner Padola, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any other discussion? Take it to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I abstain.
So let the record show that Commissioner Martin abstained his vote. Ayes have it. Moving on, agenda item number 14, Judge Whitman with Anthony Delgado, Historical Commission. Historical Commission respectfully requested court 14A, discuss and take action to approve legacy heritage applications and certificates. And 14B, discuss and take action to fund DAR 250 Patriot marker. So you have the floor, sir.
Thank you so much, Commissioners, Sheriff, staff. I'm here this morning to talk about those two items that you mentioned, the Legacy Award application certificates as well as the funding of the DAR marker. If we'll go to the third slide. With regards to the Legacy Award applications and certificates, I'll remind you that on the 26th of February court, we talked about that proposal from the Historical Commission, and you approved your Historical Commission going out and designing the certificate and the Legacy Awards. Basically, what we're talking about is a way of recognizing, and here's an example of what the Historical Commission has designed for the certificate. The top is just being superimposed on the actual printed certificate down below. A way of recognizing businesses that have been in existence in the county for 25, 50, 75, or 100 years. There are several, as you well know, that have recently celebrated over 100 years of continuous operation in the county. And so this is the Historical Commission's way of having the Commissioner's Court recognizing those businesses. Likewise, we would also recognize those families who have held land in Wilson County for continuous either 75 or 100 years. The Historical Commission put together some basic rules. The business has to have been registered in Wilson County has to have been continuously operated in Wilson County, need not be the same owner. So if I started Delgado Tire Company in 1914 and Commissioner Martin's family picked it up, it's the same business. Doesn't have to be at the same spot if he decided to move it over where he lives, but it's still the same type of business. We would still recognize that as a legacy business. With regards to legacy land, there was the commission, the historical commission thought there was no need to actually put any size limits, right? So if it's somebody's house on the corner of First Street in Floresville versus somebody's 175-acre ranch that's out in the country part of Wilson County, that doesn't matter. Size doesn't matter. What we're talking about is being able to trace a family's lineage from as early as the 1700s through to today. And there are some people in the county who's living on land that their ancestors had a Spanish grant for. So that's what the program is about. Hopefully you have in your package the nomination forms. If not, I've got a sample for the business and the legacy land award nominations. If you don't mind passing those through. Very simple. The form just asks for the nominator's contact information. So I'm going to nominate the Martin Tire Company as an example. So I include my name, phone number, email. I'm going to submit the proof that this tire company has existed for the past 100 years. Maybe it's a DBA certificate. Maybe it's a newspaper article from the Floresville Chronicle. Whatever that proof might be, the application then requires the owner, either of the business, if we're recognizing the business, or of the owner of the land, if we're talking about land legacy, their concurrence that says, yes, I don't mind being recognized. Some people don't want to be recognized. They don't want folks to know about their business or their land. So we're going to ask the owner to coordinate. And then the historical commission will review it, validate it, and then that nomination form and the certificate, when it's finalized, will come before the court for approval, and then we'll arrange for publicity and the award. So that's the nomination form as well as the certificate that I'm presenting to you for your approval before we move forward. That's the first agenda item. The second agenda item is a request for funding for the Daughters of the American Revolution 250 Patriot Marker that was proposed, and you did approve, I guess it was late last year, for the Historical Commission to go out and seek this application and marker. So as a reminder, the DAR 250 Patriot Marker is a marker program that the Daughters of the American Revolution has designed to recognize the nation's 250th anniversary. Their goal is to have a marker in every municipality, city, county throughout the United States. Last year and towards the end of 2021, Bexar County had installed a marker in the Spanish Governor's Palace last year. Atascosa County had erected a marker in front of the county courthouse. But as you see in this map here, here's the boundaries of Wilson County. These are the ranches that existed according to Jack Jackson and the late Judge Tonhoff's research. These are the ranches that existed that supported the roundup and driving of cattle from Texas to Louisiana during the American Revolution. You'll notice that there's about 36 ranches that are on this map. Of the 36 ranches, 15 of them existed within today's modern Wilson County. 21 individuals have been recognized by the Daughters of the American Revolution as Spanish Texas Patriots of the American Revolution. They contributed cattle. Some of them drove the cattle from the ranches here in Wilson County to Louisiana to help feed the troops. Of those 21 ranchers, 15 of them had their ranches here in Wilson County. So we've got history here in this county of individuals and ranches that contributed to the American Revolution. But that history isn't very well known. And so the proposal that we have is to put this marker in front of the county courthouse. It's going to beg a lot of questions, right? So when somebody comes to the county and they're touring and they see this Revolutionary War marker, it highlights the contributions of our ancestors, our citizens who came years before us, and their contributions to the nation's independence. So with that, I'm asking on behalf of the Historical Commission to fund the marker at $5,555. Along with this marker, once we get the marker established, the Historical Commission will work on the event itself. And then likewise, this will be one of several items within an exhibit that the Historical Commission is working on creating to complement the marker. So that way folks will have a better understanding of who were these Revolutionary War patriots and how is it that Wilson County contributed. Because if it was who wants to be a millionaire, I probably would have said D, none of the above, when they asked a question about what contribution did Wilson County have to the American Revolution, because we just don't hear about it in today's history classes.
So the $5,555 is just for creating the marker?
It's for the marker itself. There'll be words. Each marker is a little different. They highlight the county and then the specific Daughter of the American Revolution chapter that sponsors the marker. For the most part, the language that you see there on the marker is what you will find, but the $5,555 is for the marker and the pole.
So we're talking about just one marker?
Yes, correct, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I think we decided it was going to be out here, right?
Yes, sir. You approved that we would install it in the Plaza Courthouse. Yes, sir.
I need to get in the marker manufacturing business.
And I guess with timing,
I'm
because this
sure
isn't
they're
currently
uniform
in our
for
budget,
everybody.
but we're
They look
fixing
the
to
same
do next
company,
year's
same
budget.
place.
That money would be available October 1, and that would present any problems.
No, sir. The DAR wants to have those markers that they are going to approve. They want all of the markers installed by the 250th anniversary in 2026. So as far as timing goes, we've got year and a half, almost 2 years. Yes, sir. It's quite pricey. I'm sure the DAR is using that as a fundraiser for many of their activities. They are a very civic organization.
Will this be the only marker installed in Wilson County?
There's no limit as to the number of markers that we can install. If there is another initiative to get a marker with additional justification, each marker has to be justified. And so the DAR decides whether or not that justification is sufficient. As an example, Atascosa, if you look at the map, had a ranch, and they get a marker. So we could conceivably, if we had descendants of those that had the 15 ranches, we could have, if the DAR approved, 15 markers.
But right now, we're just talking about this.
We're talking about the one, yes, sir.
Here at the courthouse.
Yes, sir.
That's the one we approved previously.
This is recognizing everybody, and if anybody wants to have their own, then they can.
They could pursue
worry
that, yes, sir.
about funding it, yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I'll entertain a motion on 14A.
Where do we get the money to pay for this?
Well, that's on 14B.
That's the next one.
That's the next one. 14A is.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'll make a motion to approve the legacy heritage applications and certificates.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Martin and seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any discussion? Take it to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. All right, moving on, 14B. If anybody wants to make a motion on that.
Well, I was just going to answer Commissioner Perdoma's question. I mean, we can, if we put it in next year's budget, then we've got it there. He just said that putting it in next year's budget, so we wouldn't be moving that. So I think our action would be to include funding for this
So we
in
would
next
just
year's
make
budget.
a motion to put it in next year's
Yeah,
budget.
the next budget.
24-25 budget.
Well, I'll make a motion that we fund this through next year's 2024, 2025 budget.
Second.
For the amount of?
$5,555.
All right. So, motion made by Commissioner Perdola and seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you so much.
You want these back?
Thanks.
All right, going to agenda item number 15. Judge Whitman has Luz Serrato, Permanent and Development Director. What?
15 doesn't read that way on mine.
Budget amendment?
Yeah, mine's a budget amendment.
Mine's a budget amendment.
15 right there for me. We got nothing about a budget amendment.
It was changed. I think the budget was changed or revised. And we have the current one.
Which is the right number, 15?
The budget amendment? From the sheriff's salary budget to the permit and development salary.
All right, going back, agenda item number 15. Judge Whitman with Brenda L. Trevino, County Auditor, discuss and take action on approving the budget amendment to move $9,796.80 from the sheriff's salary budget to the permanent development salary budget. So, this came up. A lateral move. I'll entertain a motion on agenda item number 15.
Is this an emergency?
This was,
It's not. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I know the
but-
discussion we had emphatically a month ago was that unless it's an emergency, we can't make a mid-year budget adjustment. So that's my question.
No, the code provides that it has to be an emergency or there has to be funds already allocated and you're just moving it from one item to another item. If it's the same amount and if you're not increasing or decreasing the budget amount, you're just moving it, then you are allowed to do a budget amendment for that. Or an emergency.
And just moving the money from here to here, not.
So on the budget amendment request that I have, it states, this request is made for the following reasons. The position of Sheriff Administrative Assistant is being reduced to $35,859.20 from $45,656 and being transferred to permitting and development.
correct.
I make a motion that we approve the budget amendment to move $9,796.80 from the sheriff's salary budget to the permits and development salary budget.
Do I have a second?
This is just a employee move, and
Right.
Yes.
this will be in the next year's budget for that department, permits and development, to be at that rate.
Yes.
Second.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Perdola, seconded by Commissioner Aiken to move funds from the sheriff's department to permits and development. Any more discussion? Take a vote on it. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed?
Abstain.
Y'all got that? Commissioner Martin abstained from his vote, and ayes have it. All right, so making sure I'm on the right number now. Agenda item number 16. Judge Whitman has Luz Serrato, Permanent and Development Director, discuss and take action on going out for bids for engineering services for development.
Good morning. What I wanted to bring to the Commissioners Court was the option to open up our options in finding engineers. It's not necessarily getting rid of the ones that we have right now, but we have a lot of development with timelines that are essential, and it would be easier if we contracted with more than one engineering firm to do that. So in order to maintain the timelines that we are given for developments, I think it would be in the county's best interest to possibly look for another engineer to work with the ones that we have right now. I'd have to get with TAC. I don't know necessarily that it's a bid that we'd go out for. I think Commissioner Aiken was telling me that there's a specific way that we'd go about doing that. We vet engineer firms and then
Professional services.
professional services, and then whatever works out for us, and then bring that budget to Commissioner's Court.
And we don't have a contract of exclusivity.
No, not in the we do have a contract. It's an open contract, and there's no exclusivity to them.
Explain why you want to do this.
Pretty much for timelines. We have a lot of developments, and we're inundating our current engineer with all these projects that are due all around the same time. When you have other engineering firms, they could be local. They may be more familiar with certain issues, drainage issues that we have. And it would give us the option to sub them out. You know, we can give them road stuff to review. We could give another engineer draining stuff to review. It would just open up the options for the county.
But you do understand that if they're going to be on the county engineer list, they're not going to be able to work with the developer because that'd be a conflict of interest.
Yes. Yes, they would not be able to,
Or not, at least not in this county anyway. They can work
Yeah.
for one in another county.
would that apply, let's just say a local engineer? They can't do their own development,
Well,
but would they be able to do another development?
I wouldn't, because it's in the county, and they could, I think there's a conflict of interest there.
We could look for another engineering firm that doesn't work with our county.
Well, I mean, you don't know who you're going to get information from.
Yeah, I haven't started doing vetting of firms or anything like that. But I did want to bring it to the court to see if that was an option that we could possibly look into.
I think that's a good thing because, I mean, KCI they're getting a lot, they're getting slammed all the time. We are putting a lot on them, and they are getting behind on things just because of, they don't just deal with Wilson County in the first place.
That's correct.
And that's how, with our developers and stuff like that, it's pushing them back, and they're asking, well, why don't we have this yet? Why don't we have that yet? Well, I mean, they're busy over there too, so it's working hand in hand at that point. So opening it up is a good idea. Not only that, and we can see what these other firms have whenever it comes to our development, because we are making it a little bit more strict of what we're looking for within the county, I do believe.
Now, I've looked into other counties in the area, and that's pretty much what they do. They work with at least 2 engineering firms. They have contracts with both of them to, look at different projects. So they don't just work with one. And I think the one engineer would have worked great up to maybe last year. But here recently, we have a lot of development, and it's really unfair to just put it all in one firm.
Anything else?
So I guess,
Okay.
so you got to take action on here for,
I'll entertain a motion on 16 about going out for bids for engineering services.
What would be the best wording since this is a professional service?
Discuss and take action. Was there a motion? Did somebody make a motion already?
We have not yet. That's why I'm asking for guidance, is since it's a little bit different, we're not asking for we're actually looking for professional services that are interested in,
Requests for bids for professional services to provide engineering, or to request engineering professional services for the development department. You don't have anything real specific as to what you would want them to be doing, just to help with whatever is needed.
Development, pretty much just the development of subdivisions, drainage issues, yeah. Stuff like that.
Based on the needs of the development department. They might have various needs depending on who's made applications in the subdivision. So bids for engineering, professional services and engineering based on the needs of the development department.
But is this something that we go out for bids for, or is this something that we vet, interview, and we make the choice?
Well, it depends on the amount and what you're asking for. I mean, if it's going to be a substantial amount in the budget for engineering, then you would need bids, and you would need different firms to submit bids that they want to be considered
No,
a
it's a
part of
professional
this.
service. It's not a bid, it's a qualification.
Oh, the quality, yeah.
So it's handled,
You don't even talk about price until you've selected the best person.
okay, so it's our choice to make, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But you gotta have some kind of evaluation matrix or whatever to evaluate those on.
Okay. I could do that. I could put together a list of the stuff that the development department is looking for or we're in need of. And like I said, this would be supplemental to the engineering firm that we use currently.
So how do we word that?
it's not all gonna fit in that cup. There's a lot.
Well, the needs vary. It can be anything from septic to roads to,
Yeah.
I mean, and it varies from project to project, and KCI is not always able to do it timely, or they don't have, they're just not able to service the county as quickly as they need to be, so the services vary.
Yes.
Is that right? I mean, that's
Yes.
what I'm getting from the development meetings.
Could we word it as going out for professional engineering services, not necessarily bids out there, but
Well, it's a request for qualifications, because
Yes.
if you look at the engineering rules, the rule says that
Mhm.
all engineers must be selected based
Mhm.
on qualifications, period. So that's what you're doing. So that's why you're gonna have to tell them, I want somebody that can do this. And then their response back to you is gonna dictate how you grade that. And if they say, well, I have John that has 1 year of experience doing this, and another guy says, I have Mr. Joe over here who's got 20 years experience doing this,
Mhm.
then you're gonna obviously score him higher because he's got 20 years experience to one. And that's what it's
Exactly,
all based
yes.
out. It's based on knowledge and experience and qualifications.
so.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing you're doing.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so with that,
I personally, I
we
think,
throw it back on her and go, we need some.
we don't need to detail what all she's gonna ask for qualifications on. I think
Okay.
it's simply, allowing her to go out for requests for qualifications for engineering services for the development department. She's gotta decide what that is and put that together.
Sound like a good motion to me right there. You want to put that in a motion?
I'll make that motion. Make a motion to authorize the development services department to go out for bids for engineering services.
Second.
All right. So I have Commissioner Martin and made a motion to go out for bids and
Request for
RFQs, and then Commissioner Perdola seconded. Any more discussion? To a vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. You're still on the board. All right, item agenda 17. And we'll go with 17A, utility permit number 768. It's in precinct 3, County Road 345, 4518, review and approve. Are all three of these, or no, that one's separate? So
All three of them, I think, are precinct 3.
they're all precinct 3.
They are all.
But they're two different.
Two different entities.
They're two different, so I would do the East Central, the number 1 permit 768 for East Central Water Supply. I would approve that permit.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And any more discussion on it? Take it to a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. For 17A2 and 3, permit 769, SS Water for precinct 3, County Road 314, review and approve, and permit 770, SS Water, permit 3, or precinct 3 as you were, County Road 342.
I have reviewed permit 769 with SS Water on County Road 314, and I have reviewed permit 770 with SS Water on County Road 342, and I approve both permits.
I have a second.
Second.
All right, I have Commissioner Perdola with the motion made by Commissioner Perdola and seconded by Commissioner Morton. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Going into 17B, you have a non-standard plats variance for B1, County Road 204, 3978, Chase and Crystal Atkins. Discuss and take action.
Ms. Atkins was at the review committee. She spoke on behalf of this proposed split. It would be 4 acres out of a current 13.34 acre tract. Let me take a look at the survey real quick. So this is just raw land that's being split up.
I remember there were no buildings, no wells, no,
And they do have all their utility approval letters for all this.
and it did receive a favorable review from the.
Yes, it did receive a favorable review.
So I guess I gotta ask the $20 question. Was the person that signed those utility reviews, were they authorized to sign them?
You know what? I'm so worried about it. I think I've sent it more than twice to them to review. Like, are you sure you reviewed it? But yes, as of right now, yes.
Okay.
These are currently in my precinct.
I'm sorry.
These are in my precinct, but I can't.
Since the permanent development has reviewed and gave this a favorable review, I'll make a motion that we accept the non-standard plat variance on County Road 204 for Chase and Crystal Atkins.
Second.
Just 1 second slower, Commissioner Atkins.
You may have beaten me by a microsecond.
All right, so I have a motion made by Commissioner Perdola and seconded by Commissioner Morton. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. All right, 17B2, County Road 132, 3149, Marissa Johnson. Discuss and take action.
Again, Ms. Johnson was not present at the review committee, but it did receive a favorable review. They plan on cutting out 4.13 acres out of a current 39.98 acre tract. And this is pretty much just because it's a lot of land to be taken care of, and they wanted to sell a portion of it.
Was that the one that had the curve?
The odd shape.
Odd shape.
Yes. And they have the letters from the utility companies as well.
Is that in your precinct?
That's still in me.
Still in you?
Still in precinct 2.
You saw it?
Yes.
Okay. That being said, that it did receive a favorable review at the Development Review Committee. So I make a motion that we approve the non-standard plat variance on County Road 132, 3149 Marissa Johnson.
Second.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Padola, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any more discussion? Take it to the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. All right, 17C, Knotgrass Flats subdivision. C1, review and approve final plat, discuss and take action.
So, Knobgrass was giving a favorable review through the review committee contingent on some Scrivener changes that had to be done on the plat. Mr. Ken is here from Bettersworth to speak on it if there's any questions on the existing plat. Do you have the Mylars?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we take a look at those Mylars? Sure. Just because I didn't have the final one to show.
Where is it? This is down County Road 329, right in the county.
Right past the city limit.
It used to be in
Is
the
that an
ETJ. It was taken out of the ETJ.
Yes, Floresville kicked it out of the ETJ. They didn't want it, is that correct?
Yes.
Well, I don't think
They're providing
I don't think,
water.
well, they can't kick it out of ETJ, they just,
They can't collect
denied
taxes on
their right to review it and have it follow the city regulations instead of the
They're
county.
providing water but not sewer.
Okay, so I'll give it to them so they can take a look at it. Do you want to give it
And
to
they're
them?
gonna bore under the road.
Thank you, sir.
They are getting a contractor to bore under, but it will be city water. You know, Denise, you want to talk about it? Oh, no, not on.
Y'all gonna use an 8-inch main on the side?
There's two water lines. One of them, a small line, crosses the road, underneath the road, has been there for some time.
Mhm.
And then on the east side, west side, there's a large line, 8-inch line, that runs down that side, feeding some areas back behind that.
To 97.
Yeah. And so they're not going, the city's not going to pay for it. We're going to pay for it, but we're either going to run a new line on our side of the road, connecting those two lines.
You are gonna run in the right of way?
No.
Or on your property?
On private property. In the utility easement.
Proposed water line, you've got two fire hydrants here.
Right.
There's discussion about whether or not these two fire hydrants would service these, but this is their property here, so legally, they just need to be able to get water to these entrances. Lots are way back here on these two large lots.
There should be one up here.
And they are gonna look private, in the private driveway, not out in the county right away.
And it's gonna be 6 throughout.
The front is, shows the setback, it's for Phil.
And there are two
Well, but I mean, I
existing
thought we
fire
hit
hydrants.
standard county, 25-foot front setback.
It's a 50.
There's another one right here, so they're already right across.
We used a 50-foot
Building setback is 50.
But it ain't going all the way down. It's only hitting this one property, two properties.
It's on the second page, I believe.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Okay. These lots, the parcels on the other side of the road are houses are set back. We wanted to.
Yeah, we talked about
that
the
same
setback.
area.
I'm sorry?
We don't have a 25-foot minimum.
Right.
We're exceeding that.
Oh, here?
But
Yeah, he's
maybe I can't see it, but I don't see a
setbacks.
label on there showing that.
Oh, it's on the bottom.
Bottom.
The houses across here are about 50 feet.
There's your
Make
setback.
sure that these houses were kind of uniform to the houses across the street, so he put a stipulation of a 50-foot setback on his side of the road as well. Setback lines.
So what?
We discussed it at length multiple times after reviewing the development. They gave it a favorable review. He was gonna do multiple lots, but it's small acreage. He just felt it would work better coming off the county road.
Yeah, nobody ever runs into any
Did you want to
easement
make
issues
sure
doing that.
Yeah,
Fix
then
whatever
then to
scrivener
make
is.
it work, he just made two bigger lots here in the back. Now, this one's got a flat easement across it.
That's right. You emailed them to me. Mhm.
And so it'll be restricted from the building anything.
Yeah, they can use it, they mow it, they drive over it, but they can't build anything over this easement. It's gotta be here or here.
You won't sign it. Yeah.
I've seen it also. I looked at
Fire suppression ability to, obviously they got water, and it's gonna be from the city.
The only question we had was on these two lots, because they're gonna be 600 or 700 feet from here to here, but they met the fire suppression requirements because they can get the water.
I believe you did.
At this point, all the houses are back here, so it's kind of, yeah, you met it.
It was 15, right?
You did, but.
Well, you're only gonna have a single residence on either one of them anyways.
This is true. So even if you had to have a tanker truck, you would have for it to get.
What is the distance of this right here?
It's right here, what is it, 500 feet or 400?
I mean across, how wide are these, 40 foot?
Yes, 40 foot, 40 foot easements.
So you're not signing?
Right.
Is that all
Any-
correct?
Yes.
From what
I saw it
you
earlier.
needed done?
Yeah, I've seen it. I saw it earlier today by email.
The Scrivener errors have been corrected.
Yes, sir.
I don't remember what they were off the top of my head.
I don't have the list with me, but I know I looked at it this morning before I came into court to make sure everything was fixed on it.
So since it did have a favorable recommendation by the Review and Development Committee pending the correction of the Scrivener errors, I'll make a motion that we approve the final plat to Knott Grass Flat subdivision.
Second.
All right, so I get a motion made by Commissioner Perdola, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Do you want both of these plats signed or just
Yes.
pass the pen down and Commissioner Aiken and I will sign this deal and we'll pass it down together?
Okay, one of the pins.
I'm beating you this time. You keep
You have
giving me
one?
those, yeah,
Okay, Commissioner Aiken's got a
cheap
pen.
filter
Can't
pen
be
that breaks.
prepared. I got a faster pen.
Yeah. That in my hands has about zero chance of making it.
This money got 10 scribbled.
These are yours.
What is this? This one doesn't need to be signed. This is over here. Here it is, here in the corner.
Got the second page for it? All right. Moving on, we got agenda item number 17, Sheriff Stewart for his progress report. Nothing. All right. Moving on, agenda item number 18, Genevieve Martinez, County Clerk, discuss and take action on Commissioner's Court minutes.
Sheriff should be.
He's good.
Oh, he's good.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But 18 is the sheriff's report, so we'd be talking about 19.
Oh, yeah. Commissioner, item number 19, correction.
Okay, the minutes have been reviewed by the county attorney's office and the county judge.
Has everybody had time to look at the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the May 13th and May 28th, 2024 meetings.
Second.
All right. Motion's been made by Commissioner Martin and seconded by Commissioner Pagola. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Excuse me, I was asleep.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Minutes are good. Agenda item number 20. Jalen Bolliford, HR Specialist. Presentation of payroll and personnel changes.
Good morning. Mariela Urena was hired as a tax customer service specialist with the tax office, making $17.24 per hour or $35,859.20 annually, effective June 3rd. Jaden Quintanilla was hired as a part-time intern for the county attorney's office, making $13 per hour, effective June 3rd. Jennifer Ray resigned from her position as a lead tax customer service specialist with the tax office, effective June 12th. Mark Skritsky retired from his position as a road hand with Precinct 3, effective May 31st. And Brian Orth retired from his position as a road hand with Precinct 2, effective May 31st.
Thank you, ma'am. Agenda item number 21, County Auditor, discuss and take action on county bills.
Y'all should each have y'all's handouts. And the invoice total is $841,706.56.
So it's somewhere.
The big portion was the
Look at the bills, but I don't know why I said one.
expenses out of the ARPA money for the new distributor. Big chunk of that is because of the equipment purchase.
That's the distributor?
It came in? I haven't heard.
No, well, I don't know, what was the invoice from Cooper? Was it for the distributor truck or the, no, that was for the rock machine, I think, wasn't it?
Rock machine was delivered a couple of months ago.
Yeah, the chip spreader? Okay, yeah.
They were both purchased from Cooper. So that was the chip spreaders getting paid.
Okay.
Have we heard anything on that distributor truck?
I haven't. I can give him a call.
Well, he told me he would let me know when they've been told the chassis.
I talked to him recently about the little paving machine that I bought in Corpus, but I failed to ask him about the oil truck.
So were y'all able to look over these?
It was emailed out. I went through it. I'm good if you're ready.
Is everybody good with the bills?
Good.
I'll make a motion that we approve the auditor paying the bills in the amount of $841,706.56.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Padola, seconded by Commissioner Aiken. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Agenda item 22, I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, motion's been made by Commissioner Padola, second by Commissioner Aiken to adjourn. And at 11:35, adjourn.
We did do 1 till 2 p.m. before. We did, whenever you were on vacation. So you're not allowed to take a vacation.